Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Mid Pungmaster here today with something new. So you might notice, the background's different. You might notice a lot of things are different. New league, same team name, new webcam, new place I'm recording in. So I'll clean all that in a minute. But before we get any further, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell in the top. Is this right? Yes, top right corner if you want a notification whenever I upload. So hopefully I sound good, but I might not. I'm not in my usual setup. I have moved to college. I'm a freshman at a new school for me. I've moved, away from home, so obviously things are going to be different on the channel. I'm going to have a roommate, so I might have to post-com some battles, because, he might be sleeping or studying when I need to do a battle. So obviously I can't go somewhere else to record, so some might have to be post-commed when, he's not busy, or I wouldn't be bothering him. So who knows? New webcam. I got a brand new webcam to make up for the fact that my old webcam looked terrible in this room because I do not have the proper lighting. This one, I feel, looks a lot better. This side of my face is pretty dark, so I might just get like a lamp or something. But yeah, new webcam. Hopefully the mic quality is good. I haven't really tested it out, but we just gotta hope. So what is the SBU? So the SBU is the Superb Battlers United. It's a brand new league owned by Grandmaster D-Ray, John Jr., and OG Albina. There really wasn't a lot of leagues starting up around now, so I got in pretty much the only two that were starting up right before the new games. I can't even think of what it's called, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. So they started this up just because basically there wasn't any other leagues that were starting, and we all want content to make, because I believe finals will go up the week of Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. And there is something a little bit different about this draft compared to all the other Gens 8 drafts we've done. This is a tier league, but with S tiers. So we did play in BBL, which was just straight up Ubers. But this is S tiers where we have like 12, like kind of Ubers. So this is a 12-man league. Let me go over the roster real quick while I'm thinking about it. So there's me, there's OG Albina, and we have some newcomers to the Wi-Fi scene. We have Amel, who is somebody that is just starting to get into Wi-Fi. He's an amazing showdown player, one of the best players in the format. Always has crazy prep and hard to predict and play around. Excited to see him. We got my boy Incog. That man has done so much for me. He helped pay for this brand new Switch to keep the Jenning bot running, so that man is the absolute GOAT. We get It's Whatever, aka Ant, the good old homie in this league. We got my brother Jesse504. We got Trexo, who we have not seen play since NCP Season 4. He might have played Season 5. I think he did, actually. I think he did play Season 5. But he hasn't played since, just because in his new apartment or whatever, his internet at the time did not allow him to play LAN reliably, so he's just going to play Wi-Fi. But he's got a new apartment. Next up, we have somebody that has never played in a Wi-Fi, like a LAN upload required league ever. T-Row. That man is the GOAT. I've known him for like 2.5 years at this point. He's amazing at LC, pretty good at standard, so I'm excited to see him, get into the Wi-Fi community. We got Grandmaster D-Ray, John Jr. Those who don't need introductions for this channel, they are absolutely amazing. Just Lucas, somebody we've never played before, I believe, on the channel. And then we got Tone, who is a longtime Draft League veteran. And excited to see him play in a Gen 8 Wi-Fi league. So, as I said before, this is S tiers. So there are some broken mods. And they figured, the best way to do S tiers were based off of, just tiers. It makes it super simple to do. So let me just list off the S tiers real quick. We got Blaziken, Cinderace, Libero. Blaziken is Speed Boost. I'm just going to say I did not draft that, as I have that in 2 other leagues right now. And I just did not want another Blaziken Speed Boost. We got Genesect, a mon I loved in APA Academy. Guaranteed Origin, absolutely broken. Kieran Black, Landers with Sheer Force. Magearna, Naganado, Pheromosa, Reshiram, Solgaleo, and Zamazenta Crowned. Reshiram and Magearna are probably the two most broken mons in this draft. So, unfortunately, we did not get a very good pick. We got 7th out of 12th, which is almost exact middle. So basically means it's hard to plan because you don't know what's going to come around. It's hard to pick in pairs, so you just kind of have to pick what was the best one available at the most point. But this league is not like super try hard sweaty. It's basically we've been playing a lot of this gen. Just due to quarantine, being stuck in the house, we played a lot more League than we normally would. So we basically decided, I decided just to play more chill draft mons that I love using and new mons I want to try. So that's what this team is. This is a for fun league. It's not like the NCP where, it's like super try hard or pack. So for our first pick, I really wanted Magirna, but that went first pick, which was like surprising, but not unexpected. So the first few mons were Magirna, Guaranteed Origin, Mew, Reshiram, Solgaleo, then Kieran Black. I was either going to get Kieran Black or this next pick, and me and OG Albino were in call, and he was like, I was trying to convince him to get Kieran Black because I really want to try Kieran Black with Dragon Dance and Icicle Spear and Fusion Bolt and Freeze Dry and Scale Shot. So, but unfortunately, he picked it before, the pick before me. So I got the next best option. I got Naganadel. This mon is an absolute beast. Base 121 special attack and base 121 speed, I believe. So let me just look real quick. Yeah, base 121 speed and base 127 special attack with that beast boost. It is a poison and dragon type, so we get our grounded poison very early on, and we get a dragon type to, starting that very dragon steel core. Naganadel just has no switch-ins. We would think steel types would be amazing switch-ins to this, but he gets Fire Blast. So, and with beast boost, if I kill him on, I can, either get a boost to my special attack or my speed. So, like if I'm just choice specs, I can, lower it to where I can get a speed boost. Or if I can be like Choice Scarf and, just outspeed everything and then just keep racking up kills, raise that special attack and just make it impossible for my opponent, to switch in. Because this mon really just doesn't have switch in. It just has offensive, it just has mons that can barely live and can kill it. But, so like its best way of killing it is, but Choice Scarfers, ground types are super good against it. It's an amazing wall breaker or end game sweeper. So, this mon does get Nasty Plot, to break through those bulky walls like Celia. Bulky Psychics are very good against this mon. Just very Spadef mons are very good. But not many want to take like a Choice Spec straight go, because you can't even switch in your reliable fairy types, just due to me having Sludge Wave and being part poison. So, as I said before, it also gets Fire Blast to hit those steel types, and it does get access to spikes and toxic spikes now. So it's like kind of like Greninja in a way. You force a mon out, you can just click spikes up. So the next time you kind of see what their wall is too, or like their check. We see that very early on, and then next time they come in, they take that little bit of extra damage, and it might turn a 3 KO into a 2 KO, and just like, and with Sludge Wave, I can always get a 10% chance to poison, or I can run Sludge Wave and get a 30% chance to poison. So it just does so much extra damage. It just hits so hard. Life Orb, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Expert Belt. Just this mon can just do anything you want. I believe it even gets U-turn. So like that's another way of getting extra chip. If I like Choice Scarf and just want to outspeed a team, I can just click U-turn, get that little bit of extra chip, and just click the barn button. So I had to wait a few more picks, and then it came back to me, and I was like, what does Naganadel really struggle with? It struggles with steel types. I know I did say it doesn't really because it has Fire Blast, but I still want to find a way to where steel types don't necessarily want to come because of my other threats. So I can just click, the Choice Spec, Sludge Wave, or Draco, and not have to worry about, an immunity coming in. So I picked up the classic mid Pokemaster mon, Victini. This one in tier 1, I could have picked a million better tier 1s, but I wanted Victini, because like I said before, this is the A4 Fun League, and Victini is one of my most favorite mons ever to use in League. It's base 100 across the board. I've run so many different sets with it. Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, Life Orb, Heavy Duty Boots, Trick Room Weakness Policy, Trick Room Service, Flame Charge, Weakness Policy at Grandmaster D-Ray. This mon can run just so many different sets. It can be physical, special, it can be bulky. It's just, there's just so much you can do with it, and I've done about everything possible with it. This one just is the ultimate steel killer. This one can just run Choice Band, V-Crate, and just claim kills. I normally don't run Choice Band as I feel like that's just a waste of its potential. But in some matchups, you just want to click that button, and it gets so much coverage. It gets Bolt Strike to hit those water types that otherwise can come in on Victini and kind of just chew V-Crates. But even a lot of water types are 3 KO'd by V-Crate, so that's just so much extra damage. You can run Bolt Strike, as I said before, to hit those water types, and on the special side you can run Thunder or Energy Ball. You could also just run Blue Flare on the special side, Psychic, Zen Headbutt, U-Turn, Glaciate. So this mon is just, and with that base 100 HP, defense, and Speed F, it can just take so many hits while dealing out the damage. So Victini, absolute wall breaker. Just, it does not have reliable switch-ins. Like, Milting is probably the best switch-in, but that doesn't want to take 2 Focus Blast. And I can always just U-turn out into Naganadel, you know, on any of like those bulky waters, and just click Draco and just destroy them. So Victini is just a standard mid Pokemaster mon, and I just want to use it one more time before the end of the gen. Just to enjoy one of my favorite mons I've ever used. It's a noob killer, but you can just do so much more with it. And my opponents know how much I love Victini, so they tend to over prep for Victini, just knowing me, and then other mons can, you know, put in work. So next mon I got, you know, I waited about like 10 picks or so, 14. I really don't know, I'm not good at math. And I drafted this mon probably like 2 rounds too early, but it's a mon that I've been wanting to use ever since it came out over a year ago. It's a mon that every time I've seen it used, it just forces so much prep and does so much work. And I've always wanted to use it. It either gets picked when I want to, you know, it's like the drafts where I'm like, I'm going to draft this. It either gets picked up super early, or I get another mon that just kind of fills its roles. And that mon is Zarude. It's a tier 2 dark and grass type. Obviously, that was super early for a Zarude. Round 3 is way too early for it. But I did not want to risk this mon getting taken. It's one of my favorite mons, as I said before, to see used. And it's amazing. It deals with the ground types that Naganadel, Victini both do not appreciate or switch into. Gives me an actual ground resist that Zangoose always mentions that I'm forgetting. You always want a dark type on a team, so Psychics, you know, can't come in with Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Recover Stored Power. It just claims, you know, just makes it to where they can't do that. They have to run Focus Blast, which Victini doesn't care about. It has Jungle Healing to where it heals 25% and heals off status, so I can set up all over those bulky waters Victini doesn't like with Bulk Up, Power Whip, Darkest Lariat, Jungle Healing, and as I said before, as I just said actually, Darkest Lariat, you know, and my opponents wants to have defense boost, you know, try to take hits from Victini, I go through those with Darkest Lariat, so it just clicks the button. All 3 of my mons so far have U-turn, so it's very momentum heavy team. So I just feel like Zarude is a mon that I'm very comfortable with. I have very good speed tiers at the moment. Naganadel at 121, I believe Zarude's 105, it is. And then Victini at 100, so my fast speed tiers are very good at the moment. So it's going to force my opponents to bring a lot of Scarfers, which means they can't run bulk. And I don't know why none of these mons are like easily revenged besides like Naganadel. But unless if it's a super effective hit, it's always going to live 1 and it'll just kill back. And all 3 of these can be good Scarfers. So Zarude just does the thing. It actually, does it get knockoff? For some reason, I read it got knockoff, and I was like, there's no way, but that was just me being blind and dumb. So Zarude, it also is a grass type to help start, you know, give me another mon for my fire, water, grass core. So I just need a water type at some point, which I believe I get. I honestly can't even remember my team. My mind's just out of it now that I'm at college. Like, I know I keep bringing that up, but you know, it's just been a very busy week. I do get a water type actually, so I feel like these 3 mons pair very well together, help cover each other's weaknesses, and yeah. And Zarude and Victini both resist Fairy, which while Naganadel doesn't, so you know that just, you know, makes Fairy types even harder to come against me. So I can just spam Draco. Actually, Zarude doesn't resist Fairy. I don't know what I was just saying. I meant Victini does. I don't know what I was thinking there. So next one I got was Corviknight, an actual Fairy resist. Corviknight's also another one I've been wanting to use since the start of the gen. I've used it once in PGP Season 2, but I did not play very much just because I hate it. I very much hated mons at the time. So Corviknight, it goes in my free slot. It is a tier 1. Probably, I think I could have drafted Celesteela at that point. It might have been taken. Celesteela lasted way too long, but I already have that in UPA, and I really just want to try Corviknight out. You know, it gives me another way of, you know, with U-turn. 4 mons have U-turn, so very momentum heavy, and with momentum heavy teams, opponents like to hazard stack, but that's where Corviknight comes in, because I can defog away those hazards. It's one of the best defoggers in the game, It can also be a setup sweeper with bulk up, body press, roost, brave bird. It's typing very much covers a lot of my team's weaknesses. Nagano and Victini both hate ground types. Corviknight is immune. My team doesn't really appreciate fairy types at the moment. Corviknight's not immune resisted. I'm trying to think. Corviknight does not like fire types. I have a Victini. It doesn't like electric types. I have Slurp. So I just felt like these mons all paired very well together, and these are all mons I wanted to use /love, like I said before. So I feel like Corviknight, as I said, it's just a mon that I think can fit my playstyle. It might not. I might end up dropping it just if it doesn't feel well, because I did not enjoy it a lot in PGP, but that was a very weird draft that I wasn't comfortable with. But I feel comfortable with Nagano, Victini's root, so hopefully, that just, Corviknight fits well enough on this team, and it's a good debogger, which this team desperately needed. So next up, I got Seismitoad. I finished up my fire, water, grass core. Victini's root Seismitoad sounds amazing. It's a water ground type, so every team needs a ground type, so you get that electric immunity. Just because otherwise, mons like Reggie, like your Kogo, can just run choice specs, full switch, and literally just claim kills while gaining momentum. And that's just something I don't want to deal with. So Seismitoad gives me my first stealth rocker that every team needs, especially on an offensive team like this, where it's a lot of pivoting, getting chip off to where, Victini can come in and just click that Bandit V-Crit or whatever other move. Nagano can come in with specs like Draco, and that just extra little bit of chip just makes the world of difference a lot of the times. So Seismitoad, gives me that defensive mon, Scald, Earth Power, Earthquake, knock off Toxic. It gets Power Whip, it just gets lots of coverage and just hits super hard. So it's a mon that I've used multiple times before. The last time I think I used it was Academy Season 3. I'm sure I've used it since then, but I just can't think of it. But Seismitoad, just a very comfortable mon of mine. It doesn't have, reliable recovery, but I think that's fine. It's super weak to grass types, but the rest of my team literally just destroys grass types. And there's no more hidden power, so I think Seismitoad will be perfectly fine on this team. Gives me, like I said before, that Stealth Rocker gives me a water absorb mon. I did not mention that, so it gives me a Dracovish answer, which is very nice, because this team at the moment does not appreciate Dracovish in the slightest. Who even has Dracovish? Jesse 504. So I needed it for that. So next up, we got Slurp. Every team needs a fairy type, and now we finished off our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Nagano, Corviknight, Slurp sounds amazing. I wanted Sylveon, but that got drafted super early on, I believe. By Trexo, whose Fairy Dragon Steel Core is Reshiram, Celesteela, Sylveon. So that's just insane. My Fairy Dragon Steel Core is very good. It's just not as good as that. But Slurp is a mon that I have not used many times, but I'm excited to use it here. I feel like Webs look super good on this team. Just giving me, helping Nagano and Victini and Zuru just outspeed so many different mons that could be Scarf or just naturally outspeed. It's also a good Bushmaster for that Seismitoad, for that Victini Nagano. And this mon can be a setup threat in its own right with Belly Drum, Play Rough, Facade, Drain Punch, or Calm Mind Flamethrower, Draining Kiss, or even Cotton Guard, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Aromatherapy. This mon can just put in the absolute finest of work, and there's just so much to prep for in a Tier 4 mon. This A Tier 4 mon is not as bulky as you would like, but for a Tier 4, this mon just forces so much prep. There were not a lot of good, like steals in the draft where, all this mon should have been placed higher up. Let's grab it super early. There wasn't really a lot of that, so that's why I was fine with wasting my Tier 4 not wasting, but making this my Tier 4. But Slurp's just a very good fairy type for its tier. It was that or Aromatisse, which I just don't want to use Aromatisse again. I've used it a lot recently. So Slurp, broken mon. It just, as I said before, Belly Drum just forces so much prep so your opponents don't just auto lose to it. So next mon we got Snorlax. I used Snorlax once this gen in APA Academy Season 4, the low tier season, and I absolutely loved it as my round 1 pick. And I feel like on this team it fits super well, as I don't really have I'm not the biggest fighting weak team, but I certainly don't appreciate fighting types, but I feel like this mon was still very good. Gives me that Spadef mon, very fat Spadef. And it's a Gen 1 mon, Gen 1 normal type, so it gets as much coverage as humanly possible. It's another belly drum mon, and if I can set up Trick Room with Victini and then set up a belly drum with this, I can just claim a few kills. And then I've also seen Amon bring just an amazing Snorlax set that I 100% want to bring this season. I don't want to, spoil it, so if I bring it, you'll know it then, I'll bring it up. But Snorlax mon I'm super comfortable with. It's my second tier 3, so it gets just as much coverage as possible. Facade, Body Slam, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Darkest Lariat, Seed Bomb. I know it even gets more than that. Heavy Slam, Gunk Shot. So this one, can just be Assault Vest, Fat, with max HP, max SPDF, or even max attack Adamant, and just claim the absolute kill. Just makes it absolutely impossible to switch into, and can just, do the thing. It's absolutely broken. Well, not broken, but just amazing. So we still have 3 8 mons and a tier 5. This next one I got was Young Banester. This is our second hazard remover. Not a very good hazard remover, but it gets defog. This is my boy Girder. This one is just an amazing tier 5. It's another status absorber. So my team has a lot of ways of absorbing hazards with, not hazards, status. So Zarude with Jungle Healing, Seismitoad can take Scald so you don't get Scald burned, and then Girder with Guts, just absolutely switching to those water types with Scald. If it gets burned, that's exactly what I want. I can just take the burn and just, do the thing, as I keep saying. It's very good for tier 5, also forces a lot of prep. It has base 105 attack, 80 HP, with 85 defense, so it can just chew those physically offensive hits. And it's, if I don't want to be Guts, I can be Sheer Force or Iron Fist. It'll most likely run Evilite all the time. I'm not weak to Psychic types at all on this draft with Victini, Zarude. And I'm not really weak to Flying types because I have a Corrinite, so this one can just, if I feel like there's just a matchup where my opponents are super fighting weak, I can just bring Girder and just absolutely click buttons between Drain Punch, Knockoff, Mach Punch. I believe it gets Facade. It does. It can be Bulk Up. It can be High Horsepower, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Stone Edge. So this one can just do so much, and for a tier 5, that's what you like. You want a tier 5 that forces prep. Forces your opponents to actually, think about, like, how do I not lose to Girder on matchups? So, Conkeldurr is one of my favorite ones to ever use in draft. I used it, I know, at least once in NCP Season 3. I feel like I've used it since then, but I can't think of it. But I loved Girder. I have it right now in APA Ascension, that's where I have it. And I'm still absolutely loving it. It just forces so much prep, and it can just come in and claim kills every time. So we got our 3 free agents left. So I drafted Celia. It was a tier 3 mon. It's not a very good mon, but it's very hard to beat. It forces wall breakers, which I like. I want to make my opponents not being able to bring, fat hazard, not hazard mon, just fat mons that are harder to break. I like those, offensive mons that are kind of frail, so Victini and Nagandel can just kind of claim kills. Celia is very bulky, but it's also just very passive. Gives me another ground immunity, so ground types are just kind of, if my opponent brings them, they're just kind of crazy. Between Zarude, Corviknight, Cresselia, a lot of them just don't have a good place. But it has 120 HP and defense and base 130 SPDF. Base 75 social attack isn't very good, but it's not bad either. It can be a Calm Mind Sweeper with Calm Mind like Moonlight, Psyshock, Moonblast to hit the dark types that otherwise would wall it. Can be Toxic, can be dual screens for like a Victini or Naganadel sweep. Can be Thunder Wave. I'm going to do my best to make it not setup fodder or like taunt fodder. But, that's just kind of what Cresselia is. It's very much taunt fodder. Very passive, like other mons can set up on it very easily. And I want to try to avoid that to the best of my ability. So, second to last pick, we got Raichu. I just wanted an electric type, pretty much. I can only take 2 tier 4s at this point. So I drafted Raichu, base 110, so Sweet Tears are still very good. Still not ground weak at all. So, Raichu, base 110 speed. Let me look at that special attack. I believe it's also base 1. It's actually 90. I don't know how I forget that. It gives me another electric immunity with Lightning Rod. So, it's one of the few electric types this gen that can hit opposing ground types super effectively with Surf and Grass Knot. Can be a Nasty Plot Sweeper also. Can just be, annoying Choice Specs or Scarf with like a Volt Switch to get, initiative into my bigger threats. So it's a Raichu, not much to say about it. Haven't used it this gym, but I still want to try it out. And for the final mon of this SBU draft, I drafted Reuniclus. So it's funny that I drafted Seismitoad and Reuniclus on Academy Season 3 together. But I just felt like for a tier 4 this mon was not bad. It gives me a ghost and another ground type, so electric types just won't be coming against this team. Between me having 3 immunities and it just not hitting anything super effectively at all, so screw you Regieleki, you're not coming. Gives me a ghost type, so normal types just can't run, you know, set it move, body slam, rest, sleep talk. It forces them to bring coverage moves like knockoff. Gives me another stealth rocker, so Seismitoad isn't forced to bring them every week. Gives me another toxic spiker for Naganadel, which is very nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It can hit mons decently well with Earthquake, Poltergeist, and it can be, you know, it's like Cofagrigus, but you know, Ghost and Ground with Earthquake. It can be Iron Defense, Body Press. It can be Memento. It can do quite a few different things. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell in the top right corner and comment down below what you think of this draft, or what you like free agents I can make, like you think I can make to make this team just even better, like some weaknesses you think I have. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.